Hello everyone, it's Mike from Downtown Comics, and it is an exciting week, so we're going to get right into it. These are all the comics and covers releasing this Wednesday, July 10th, 2024. Before I get started though, downtowncomics.com is the place to go to check out everything, some of which I may not have on this table, and of course liking, sharing, and subscribing is always appreciated. Okay, another huge week, something for everyone, so we're going to start with Independence this week. We've got a new Savage Sword of Conan, the magazine sized. That's been very popular. We also have a random issue of G-Fan, so I get those in sometimes. And those are out. New Red Sonja. This is the Empire of the Damned miniseries, so that's separate from the other Red Sonja series. Turtle, still waiting for the ongoing series to start its new #1, so we have a 40th anniversary one-shot this week. Star Wars High Republic Adventures. Precious Metal #2 from Image. The very popular Ain't No Grave from Scotty Young hits #3. I honestly have no idea. This Fright Night's been coming out for what seems like 3 years, but I guess #5 is new, and maybe that's the end. I honestly don't know at this point. All right, if you were a fan of the Battle of the Planets or you read the new Gotchaman book last week, there is a side story about our villain, Galactor. So he gets a 4-issue miniseries. New Ice Cream Man shows up. Profane. Geiger hits #4. Rick and Morty gets another one-shot. This is a 10th anniversary special, I'm assuming of the comic book series. Blood Squad 7 hits #2. Our Amory Wars, #3. Our only Spawn book this week, I think, it seems like, Monolith, #3, the last issue of that miniseries. So no Spawn, core Spawn titles this week. My Little Pony, this is the Maritime Mysteries, #2. Hunger and Dusk comes back for a Book 2 miniseries, so starting off at a new #1. Another very popular book out of the gate was Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, so #2 hits this week. I did enjoy that quite a bit, so I do recommend it. Dawn Runner, #4. Our latest Critical Role book hits #4 as well. Another like low-key hot book, Cult of the Lamb. So based on, again, another video game, I believe. That hits #2. We have a new one from Image called Domain. Transformers hits #10. Various covers. Vampirella Dark Reflections seems to be the latest volume. That hits #2. We have another new Gun Honey. And what number are we on? We're on #3 of the latest volume. Yes, I was wondering why I put this in the pile since you can't see the cover. But yeah, just think about it. It's all hidden. And there we go. Gun Honey #3. Moon Man #3. And this one had to be resolicited. It's finally out. Kill All Immortals #1 finally hits. And that looks like our Independence, although I have a stack of second prints or other printings I'll go through later. So that's all the new stuff for Independence. Right on to Marvel. Ghost Rider Final Vengeance #5. Avengers 16. This, I think, ends the Blood Hunt arc. So that tie-in. Get Fury #3. And this one I've been getting a lot of questions on. So stores around the country may get these at different times, but we just got Moon Knight Zero this week. So Moon Knight Zero, Marvel sent out a free variant copy because of something that happened in Blood Hunt 4. I won't ruin it for you, but this Zero issue is going to be the start of the Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu series that starts in the fall. So that's a Zero issue. More Deadpool. So now we're reprinting Deadpool #1 from 1997-98 approximately. 97 looks like, January 97, and you get a shiny version. So this was the Joe Kelly run, and this is what kind of got Deadpool he wasn't as popular as you'd think he was back then. This was the first, that was the first storyline where he started to get super popular. Daredevil. Looks like Bullseye's in town. The Star Wars Ahsoka series begins. Now, just like the Obi-Wan series and the Mandalorian, this is in fact not new stories, but adaptations of the TV show. So, but there you go. If you're an Ahsoka fan, shiny covers, variants. Our weekly Annihilation 2099. Whoop, I got that in the wrong pile. All right, sorry. We've got, okay. Sorry, two 2099 books. All right, so Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 hits issue 5. And then I'll put this back. And Annihilation 2099, the weekly miniseries, hits number 2. Sorry about that. I saw 2099 and just assumed they're the same book. All right, our giant-size one-shots continue. This time it's Silver Surfer who gets a one-shot. And again, another book that's off delayed and finally out, Kid Venom #1 hits. And we get a shiny one there. We get a cool negative space variant. All kinds of cool covers. Yeah. All right. And we're wrapping up some Blood Hunt stuff. So Union Jack, that miniseries, hits number 3. And the Hulk wants to be involved, so he gets just a one-shot. So he gets a one-shot tied into Blood Hunt. So pick that up if you're a Hulk guy. And then the Wolverine miniseries, the 3-issue Wolverine miniseries, ends this week. All right, we move on to Spider-Boy 9. Our semi-weekly Heir of Apocalypse miniseries hits number 3. Ultimates, number 2, is this week. And then the big launch for Marvel is the beginning of the X-Men relaunch. Now, the big controversy that I was wondering about, all right, so this X-Men is officially 301, which means that the X-Men that came out during the Krakoan Age were actually Uncanny X-Men. So this one, so I think X-Men 300 was technically the 2013 X-Men series. So yeah, so technically there hasn't been a new title in the X-Men line since whenever that ended. So about 10 years. So this is officially X-Men 301, and then when Uncanny starts, it will take over its numbering from adding in the 2 X-Men series from 2019 and 2021. I don't know, it's very odd, but there we go. So questions answered, I guess, there. We got plenty of cool covers, Scotty Young's. We got wraparounds. We got, that's pretty cool. We got George Perez. We got J. Scott Campbell. So they're bringing out all the stars. All right. And then lastly for Marvel this week, sorry about that, Amazing Spider-Man. Brand new. And we get a Disney cover this week on Spider-Man. And we get some variants. That's pretty cool. All right, so we'll quickly, before we do DC, we'll do some second and third and fourth printing. So for Marvel this week, we get a second print of the X-Men 97 series, number 3. We get a third print of the X-Men 97 series, number 2, so you can finally get that whole miniseries. Ghost Spider number 1 gets a second print. The Black Panther Blood Hunt 1 gets a blood-spattered reprint. Midnight Suns gets a blood-splattered reprint. And finally, I know I've been asked about this, but the Doom one-shot is finally, if you missed it, for shame. I tried to push it on as many people as I could. But if you missed it, you got another chance to buy it here. That second print is out this week. And then I mentioned Image, or I guess Independence. So Cult of the Lamb number 1 sold out, so it gets a second print. And this is like, what are we on? This is Transformers number 1, 7th printing. 7th printing for Transformers number 1. There you go. And Cobra Commander, a book that the trade is out, but I guess if you're a completist, the 4th printing of number 1. In 10 years, this will be very hard to find, I have a feeling. Same thing with Duke number 3. If you're a completist, even though the trade is already out, this is a 3rd printing of that. And lastly, I guess they did a connecting cover, it looks like, for these reprints, because Void Rivals gets a 9th printing on number 1. There you go. Awesome. All right. All right, let's go to DC. Having a big week for DC also. All right, we'll start with the Batman Gotham by Gaslight, the Kryptonian Age. Long title, but a really good book, and that hits number 2 of that miniseries. Elseworlds. We get, finally, Batman 89. Always seems to not come out monthly. Number 3. And some Absolute Power stuff. So we've got a separate miniseries called Task Force 7. So this is a 7-issue miniseries. Ties into Absolute Power. And a lot of covers for that one. Action Comics. New storyline. You get a shiny cover for that one. So there. Outsiders is new. DC has a reprint this week, so we've got the first appearance officially of the Nightwing costume, and he changes his name to Nightwing. So Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing in this issue of Tales of the Teen Titans. That's reprinted. Primer. Now, instead of putting it out as a graphic novel, they are going to do the comics first. So this is a brand new storyline, so you get 3 issues, and then they'll do the graphic novel. Batman and Robin 11. Sinister Sons, the final issue of that miniseries. And then we have Green Lantern as an Absolute Power tie-in, as you can tell by the cover. So if you're reading the miniseries, you may want to check that out. And then, of course, DC is having these official kind of handbook drawings, or they call it the Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Yeah, he did the style guide back in the 80s. So these are homages, or those are pages from his style guide. All right, and probably the most interesting book this week, actually, from DC is they did a special printing of Batman, what was it, 427, 428, where they said, what if Robin had lived, right? Jason Todd died, got killed by the Joker. They did a reprint of the book, but they put in the pages that they had drawn where Robin actually lived, if that was the vote. So now they're going to do a 4-issue miniseries to show you what the storyline would have been after that storyline. So after Death in the Family, Robin lives. Here's the story that would have happened if he lived. You get a cool Magnolia cover. So it's a 4-issue miniseries. So that's going to be fun. That'll be interesting. And finally for DC, Looney Tunes. So all right. Well, I was pretty long-winded today. Did a lot of yapping. Thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, you have a great day. Again, lots to look at, lots to read. So I'm going to get started right now. See ya. Bye-bye.